Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. This is my setup video for One Book July 2021, and as you can see, I am using a Chic Sparrow wide, also known as the Moleskine large size, and I am pretty much going to be using my Starbucks planner again. And this is the Moleskine large size. I've already made a video on what exactly a Starbucks planner is and how you get one, but just to avoid confusion, this is basically a Moleskine planner that's Starbucks branded, so I'm gonna start calling it Moleskine going forward because I think calling it a Starbucks planner just causes a little bit of confusion. So yeah, I'm going back into this size, and if you've seen my previous videos before, you know that I started the year in this size and then I switched to the Hobonichi weeks back in March. And this planner was going really well for me, honestly. I loved using it as my planner. The paper's really grown on me and I do love the crinkliness of it. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I originally planned to do a Hobonichi week size TN because this cover that I'm using, the print Prussian cover, it has these strings, and I was thinking of using these and turning this cover into a traveler's notebook. So let me get this out of the way. So I was going to cut down my standard size inserts to the Hobonichi week size and then insert them into the strings here, and I will have a really nice traveler's notebook setup going on. That was my initial plan all the way back in May. But One Book July got closer and closer. I was not feeling that idea anymore. I don't know, I'm just getting a little bored of this size. I want to mix up my system a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with the weeks. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I always find myself going back to this size. There's just something about the Moleskine that I really like. And to be completely honest, repurposing this into a memory planner, just so I can keep using it for the rest of the year while having the Hobonichi weeks as my main planner, I was starting to feel overwhelmed again with my planning system. And I recently watched back my One Book July setup for last year, and I realized that I'm running into the same problem now that I had back then, which is that I was doing too much. I was juggling all these different notebooks and it's just not sustainable for me. As much as I enjoy this hobby, I do have my limitations. So I think having 5 notebooks in my system is just too much for me right now. That might change in the future, but right now I am looking to simplify. So I'm going to go back to basics and return to my old planner. I know that's not a very exciting prospect, but I think that's what I need right now, just to go back to what worked for me before. Because last year I did use a Moleskine planner and I was able to stick to it for the entire year. I had a complete flip through. I felt really proud of myself, and looking at that planner, I always think, gosh, I want that planner piece feeling again, you know? Here's my setup. On the inside, it's very simple. I have it in this Chic Sparrow wide tea house chamomile, and I love this TN. I've had this for over a year now, and as you can see, it does have some lovely patina to it. It's aged really nicely. It has a ton of character, and it's just so gorgeous. And I love how thin this letter is. Going back real quick to why I switched to the weeks. I know I mentioned in one of my videos that one of the reasons I switched is because I felt like the Moleskine planner was too big for me. I was leaving it behind, I wasn't taking it everywhere with me, and I was forgetting what I was supposed to do. But honestly, that behavior hasn't changed. I was still leaving my weeks on my desk and just going about my day. So I think something I realized is that it was more of a habit formation problem than a planner size problem. That's another reason why I'm going back to Moleskine for now, is just to see if using this planner is what I truly need and if it really is the habit forming that I need to work on. But part of the reason why the size felt so big to me is because I was using, I think at the time, a monogram cover. It's quite large. It's A5 size, which is too big for the Moleskine. It has a back pocket, it has a clasp, and it was quite heavy all on its own. So that added to the bulk and the weight of my planner, and it just didn't feel good to me to carry it around. But the Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook, the tea house letter, it is very thin. As you can see, I also have here the creme letter, and I was using this cover prior to the tea house, and this is a very thick letter. There, so the creme is quite heavy. and it's very thick, and so even this felt really heavy for me to use with my Moleskine planner. So I decided to switch to the Tea House leather because it's super thin and it's so much lighter now. I'm so happy that I switched because I don't feel that same feeling of, oh, this is too heavy, I can never carry this around, I'm just gonna leave it behind, and that affects my productivity. So hopefully this does the trick. So opening her up, I'm just keeping my setup very simple, trying not to add too much unnecessary weight to this setup so that I don't feel over encumbered. If you get that reference, then you need to tell me right now in the comments. So here in the hard pockets, I just have these pictures that make me happy. This one is a family picture. Here I have a journaling card. Commit. I feel like this card is quite relevant for One Book July because I should be committing to my planner, right? And then here I just have an Instax photo. This is one of my favorite pictures, so just gonna slip it back in here. And I don't have anything in the full height pocket. Again, just a very simple setup to keep this cover as lightweight as possible. And then here we have my Moleskine planner. And I did fall quite behind on using this as a memory planner. But my hope is that as I use this throughout the month, I will be able to backfill all of the pages that I missed. But let's go ahead and jump to the current week. So I did start on June 28th, just so I can have a full week on my planner. And I'm doing the exact same style of planning as I did the first time I was using this. So if we jump back to, okay, I think this one's good. So if we go back to my spread back in January, this is pretty much the same thing. I did do something different. I added a weekly tracker on the right side. I used to do a monthly tracker here, but I just feel a lot better doing it on a weekly basis. This to me looks really scary and intimidating. And I know that's a psychological thing, but you know, whatever works, right? And it doesn't take me very long to set this up. I just write down the title, the days, and then all the things that I want to keep track of every week. Although this isn't necessarily a tracker, this is more of like a daily reminder, and I'm not always consistent with filling this in. But the important thing is I did get these done in a day. And then here I have some notes. If you watched my planner collector check reel on Instagram, you know what this is. It's not too different from how I used it the first time, which isn't too exciting, but I just really miss this planner. I was filling out my media log the other week because I have a bit more time to myself, so I've just been enjoying watching some movies and watching a new show, and I just kept asking myself, why am I not using this planner? I love it. I spent so much time decorating these pages and making it pretty, and I'm not using it, and that also contributed to the pullback that I felt for this planner. So that's another reason why I switched back. And then here in the back, just to keep up with the One Book July theme, I did also switch back to the Moleskine large size for my journal, and I'm not quite done yet with my previous journal. I'm actually going to finish it tonight. I'm literally one page away from filling it up, and then I'll start journaling in this one. But this is just a plain Moleskine Cahier notebook, nothing special. It is lined. I did reinforce the spine with some washi tape, and then here's some packing tape on the edges, because something I've noticed is if you use the same insert for a long time on your TN, it will eventually wear down. So I reinforced the spine, and I also reinforced my inner cover on my Moleskine planner because I'm using the string to hold this in place. And here's what it looks like in the front. I just put some clear packing tape and then cut it down to the edge. And then for the cover on my journal, nothing too elaborate. Sometimes I like to have a plain, simple cover on my journal. I don't always like to decorate the cover. It really depends on my mood at the time. I did add this super cute elephant sticker on my journal. It's a mommy elephant with a baby elephant, which I thought was super cute and resonated with me because July is both my son's birthday and my birthday month. So I thought this sticker was super fitting. And in the back, I have another sticker here. And then in the secretarial pocket, I do use it to hold on to some paperwork. And these are just a stack of coupons that I am keeping around for now. Just gonna go ahead and set that aside. And that is pretty much my One Book July setup. It's nothing too special or fancy, but again, the intention isn't to have a fancy setup. It's to keep it simple and figure out if this is the planner that I truly need to use for the rest of the year. If I suddenly get tired of this planner 2 weeks into this challenge, then at least it's just for a month and hold out for a month, and I can always move back to my Hobonichi weeks. I'm not pressuring myself too much to have the answer right away, and these two planners are good for the rest of the year. So I think ultimately it doesn't matter which one I end up with, because as long as I get things done, then that's all that matters to me. So that is the video. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. This is Baba Notes, and I'll see you next time. Bye!